Positive Impact Channel. Impacting the world positively.
Hello everyone, welcome to Positive Impact Channel. My name is Ibrahim Jibril Adavizi. Today we shall be looking at the making of great nations. A nation is a specific place defined by geography, politics, and culture, and which must have a shared national identity and physical borders. They must also have a single government. Now, for the purpose of this talk and for convenience, a nation will be regarded as also a country. Therefore, we have great nations, great countries, developed nations, developed countries. We shall be using them interchangeably. Nigeria has been classified as a developing country. A developing country or nation is a sovereign state with a less developed industrial base and a lower human development index relative to other countries. Human Development Index, HDI, consists of three key dimensions of human development. These are a long and healthy life, being knowledgeable, and having a decent standard of living. So, when citizens of a nation have access to quality education, quality healthcare, and enjoyed living, then the Human Development Index is good. This will mean that the value will be closer to 1 in the index. Now, let me share this. As far back as 1988, I remember vividly that I classified Nigeria as a developing country in a chart when I was writing one of my GSS 3 exams. Today, 36 years later, I am still finding it difficult to classify Nigeria as a developed country. The question is, when will Nigeria be developed? And where have we gone wrong? I totally agree with the fact that no nation can develop without first developing her human resources, which means education is key. Again, the responsibility of the government authorities goes beyond providing not only good education to the population, but they also have to enable educated citizens to have access to adequate jobs where they can use their skills and knowledge so that they don't have the need to migrate to developed nations. Nigeria, as well as Africa, needs education without brain drain. Thirdly, one striking difference that I have observed in the two sets of nations, talking about developed and developing nation, is that of mindset. Developed nations believe that they are developed, and the citizens of developing nations believe that they are developing. I have, in almost every developing nation, seen that they believe so strongly that they are developing. In fact, in most cases, that belief becomes a hindrance to their development. In such a situation, I would say that the leadership in such developing nations must make plans visible and understandable to the common people. That is the only way their country can develop. Why? That will probably help the common people to believe that their beliefs most of the time becomes realities. Now, let us come down to Nigeria and other developing countries and ask ourselves if we are actually doing things towards development that will make our beliefs come realities. I will say no. The factors that affect development trajectories include natural resources endowment, geography, history, established institutions, politics, and power. And we can only get developed based on the inclusiveness of our political institutions. That takes us now to a question: how inclusive is our political institution? We should all remember that it is a man-made political and economic institutions that motivate or causes economic success, and that in the absence of these, such nations will lack success and development. Therefore, the economic landscape determines the difference between these countries. These are the regulations directing the economy within the country's borders. The economic landscape are regulations directing the economy within a country's borders. And these things include public service, property laws, and access to financing. In Nigeria and other parts of Africa, there is no single recipe for economic development. Each country needs to find its own path to development based on its unique resources and circumstances. However, there are some general principles that can guide countries on the path to economic development. One of the most important principles is the need to create an enabling environment for private sector investment and entrepreneurship. The private sector is the engine of growth in any economy, and so it is critical that businesses have the freedom to invest and to innovate. However, it is important to note that no nation can develop without first developing her human resources. Human resources are the people. They are also known as the workforce or the labor force. So, development of human resources is a process by which the individuals in any sector are helped to grow and improve their skills, their knowledge, and their abilities. So, the goal of human resource development is to create a workforce that is better equipped to meet the demand of the nation, the demand of any organization. So, when we have nations with underdeveloped human resources, such nations can be regarded as failed nations. And the example of the characteristics of such nations will include, but not limited to, the presence of obsolete technology, the presence of an insurgency, extreme political corruption, which will include high cost of running the government, lack of industrialization. Such nations will turn to be a consuming economy instead of being a productive economy. There will be overwhelming crime rate, suggestive of an incapacitated police force and impenetrable and ineffective bureaucracy. Such nations will experience judicial ineffectiveness, among others. Therefore, for such nations and other developing nations, there will be a need to identify what I will describe as a critical juncture for things to turn around. In our next video, we shall be looking at critical juncture and how other nations have identified and leveraged on their critical junctures to bring forth the desired development being experienced in such nations. This is how far we will go on this first series of the making of great nations. It's going to be up to 10 or 12 series. And I want to sincerely thank you for being part of this very series. Please subscribe to Positive Impact channel and keep up the engagement. My name is Ibrahim Jibril Adavizi. See you again.